uh, this class is being recorded right now. Do you accept recording it, Nicole?
Yes.
Okay, good. Now, let me share the screen now, and we are going to see the day today is September 23rd, 2021. What are we going to talk about, Nicole? What are we going to talk about?
We're going to talk about two brothers in Peru.
Two brothers in Peru. Okay, let's read
Yes.
this before watching the video. Okay, the vocabulary that corresponds. Where is Peru? Is Peru in North America, in Central America, or in South America? Tell me. Where is
It's
Peru?
in South America.
Peru is in South America. Is it very far from Bolivia?
No.
No, it's close to Bolivia. Let me check it out because I'm not sure if I can. Let me check it out. If I don't know what's happening here with my, okay, with this. Let me close this and let me go to the reading here and observe the map here. What do you see? Which are the countries which are neighbors to Peru? Do you know? What countries are
And
neighbors to Peru? Which are the countries which are
no,
neighbors to Peru? Don't you know?
no,
I
I
guess
don't
this
know.
is Chile. This little bit here is Chile, right? And here you
Okay.
have probably Brazil and part of Bolivia or probably Ecuador. I really don't know if this is, but I guess this is Ecuador and this is Bolivia. And up there is Colombia. And up there to the north is Venezuela. Okay? If we see the map,
Oh,
okay, I don't know so much about geography, but I guess this is Brazil, this is Chile, and part of Argentina. So I would, or probably Paraguay. I really don't know. No, it's Argentina. No, I really don't know. I don't know so much about geography, but let's read a little bit about Peru, about the culture, about the country, about Peru. Okay, can you please start reading this about Peru? And if
and yes,
there is a word that you do not understand or you do not know how to pronounce, I'm going to ask you to ask me. I want you to ask me so that we can get,
okay,
okay, what the correct
okay,
pronunciation or what is it? Okay, can you please start reading?
yes. Peru is located in western South Africa.
South
It is
Africa.
bordered
South Africa.
America, sorry, South
Okay,
America.
America.
Okay. It is bordered by the Pacific coast, divided by Andes Mountains, and is
Andes,
par-
mountains,
Andes
mountains. Okay.
mountains. Okay, and is probably covered by Amazon rainforest. Nearly 30 million people live in this diverse land. Spanish is the official language, but many people speak the native language, Quechua. Peru is the home of Machu Picchu, an archaeological site that once was a busy Incan city. It was abandoned fifth, about 500 years ago, but is now a popular destination for tourists, historians, and hikers. Machu Picchu is a UNESCO World Heritage Site and an important cultural attraction.
Cultural attraction. Okay, tell me, can you please repeat native, native language? Repeat native
Native,
language.
native language.
Okay, apart from Spanish, some people in Peru speak Quechua. Quechua is another
Quechua.
language in Peru. Quechua,
Quechua.
okay? And
Okay.
okay, you said abandoned. Repeat abandoned. Repeat it.
Abandoned.
Abandoned. You understand what abandoned means?
Abandoned.
No more population.
Yes.
People went away. Huh? People abandoned the
Yes.
city. Okay, abandoned. Okay, when you
Abandoned.
got to this 500 years ago, you didn't remember how to say how 500. 500 years ago. You understand? When Christopher
Yes.
Columbus arrived in America, they had already abandoned the city, you know? They had already abandoned
Yes.
Machu Picchu. 500 years ago, it was abandoned, okay? Now,
Yes.
heritage, repeat, heritage.
Heritage.
Heritage, do you know what heritage is? What people leave to other people, to their, I mean, what old people, old grandparents, our grandparents left to us, okay? As a heritage. A heritage is, for example, the language. Our heritage from Spanish people is our language, Spanish in Venezuela, right? But
Yes.
the heritage from people in Peru, from Peruvians, is probably Machu Picchu, which is the city, a very old city which is abandoned, and this is a heritage. UNESCO, the United Nations organization, has an organization that um, takes care of old things or very important places around the world. The UNESCO is the United Nations. I really don't know what exactly is, but this is the abbreviation for some other, but the first two are the United Nations. Uh, I really don't remember. Do you remember what it is?
Um,
No?
let me.
UNESCO, UNESCO, United Nations Organization. But this organization, these letters here correspond
Okay,
to,
I got it.
you're searching it
Is
out?
yes, yeah. I search in Google
Okay,
and
in
say
Google, you can, what?
United Nations Educational, Scientific, and
Scientific,
Scientific
scientific
and Cultural
cultural
Organization.
organization. So it's education, scientific, and cultural organization. That is the meaning, okay? The meaning of
Yes.
this is the organization, science, not scientific, but it is United Nations Organization for Culture, Sciences, and Education. For culture, sciences, and education. It would be like this, but that's in English, okay? La Organización de las Naciones Unidas se lee de esa forma, okay? Dice United Nations, uh, United Nations, let me check it out. If it's in English, I say education and sciences culture organization, okay? That's it. Ah, UNESCO. That's it. Now let's continue. Oh my goodness! I closed the window that corresponded to your book. That's
Mm,
okay. This is the one. Can you read this the screen?
yes.
Okay. Now, are there any words here that you do not understand their meaning here? Any words you don't understand apart from heritage? Heritage is what you receive from your grandparents or from old
Okay.
people who were the inhabitants of the land where you are. Yeah? Okay. Any words
Okay.
you don't understanding here?
Mm. And nearly is like approximate, right?
What is it?
Nearly. In
Nearly.
the nearly.
Nearly.
Is
In which
in the
line?
third line.
The
third
third
line.
line, when you say nearly, almost, when you say almost, almost mean approximately, approximately.
Yes.
30 million people. When you say nearly, it's about, approximately. You understand approximately, nearly,
Yes.
almost 30. When you can replace this for almost, or when you say approximately, okay, approximately,
Okay.
or almost 30 million people, okay? You understand
Okay.
this? Approximately, nearly?
Yes.
Okay, good.
Yes.
Now, tell me another word that you do not understand in here. Do you understand hikers?
Um, hikers is like people that do that hike in the mountains.
Walk and run up them and down the mountains. You are right. Hikers are people who go up and down the mountains. Okay, that's kind of a sport. You know, it's a sport.
Yes.
It's a sport. They do it as a sport, or as a, how would I say, a hobby. What is your hobby? I like hiking. Hiking means to go up and down the mountain. You understand? Imagine that you go to the Avila
Yes.
mountain in Caracas. I used to go up and down the Avila mountain. I was a hiker. I had to have my special boots. Okay. My special boots. Okay. Now, do you understand what a site is? Site?
Yes.
What is it? Tell me in other words.
I is like a place.
It's a place, archaeological, a place where you can find things that, or the stuff that people used to have or used to wear, their belongings, okay, of people long time ago. You can find, for example, plates, dishes, dishes, huh? Or
Yes.
pottery of the Indians, of the Quechuas in Machu Picchu, okay? You understand? Okay, any other word that
Yes.
you don't understand in here, please tell me, ask me.
Mm, I think that I understand it all.
So let me delete the notes here and let me continue. Would you like, first of all, have you ever visited Machu Picchu?
No.
No. Would you like to visit Machu Picchu?
Yes. Why not?
Okay, yeah. Why? Why would you like to visit Machu Picchu? Why?
Because I don't know. I think that is a beautiful place to visit.
It's interesting. It would be interesting to know about an old culture. Okay, it would
Yes.
be a good idea. It would be interesting for me to visit the Quechua's place. Okay, the people from the old aborigines of Peru. Okay, what do you enjoy
Yes.
most about traveling? What do you enjoy most about traveling?
Mm, I enjoy that I can see new cultures
Okay,
and I can do a lot of things and have a lot of fun.
okay.
And I
You know
love
what I enjoy
traveling.
the most? You know what I enjoy the most? Eating different plates, different menus,
Mhm.
you know, eating different menus. You know what they eat a lot?
Yes, I love
Raw
it
fish, raw
a lot.
fish. You know what raw fish means?
And yes,
Fish that you put vinegar, not vinegar, but lemon juice, fish
mhm,
with lemon juice and potatoes. This is the traditional dish, I guess, I think. Uh, Raw fish with potatoes, okay? Raw fish, fish which is not prepared by cooking, but it is cooked in lemon juice. Okay. Do you know
Oh, yeah.
what do you call that kind of food? Do you know what it is? I don't remember what the
Yeah.
name is, but do you remember that? I don't remember the traditional
Raw
food.
fish.
Raw
Raw
fish?
fish.
Okay, I know that it is raw fish, but it's tepiche, I don't know.
Ceviche.
Ceviche, that's
Ceviche.
right, ceviche. Ceviche is a kind of a particular plate. It's a particular, peculiar plate from Peruvians, okay? And with probably with potatoes or something like that, you know? Okay,
With
I love
crackers, I think.
I love eating that kind of dishes, okay? I love eating, even though I don't like fish. But I don't like fish, but I prefer eating ceviche. That's good. Or probably shrimp. Shrimp. The shrimp that they prepare. It's good. It's very good. Now, vocabulary. Sightseeing. You know what sightseeing means? You know what
um,
sightseeing means?
no.
Okay. Sightseeing is the activity, preferred activity done by tourists. What do tourists do? They just go visit here, visit there, take photograph and videos, and they go. That's sightseeing, okay? They they take photos with their cameras and they go away. You know, they continue taking photos. That's sightseeing, visiting different new places and taking photographs. That is sightseeing. How would you translate that into Spanish? Because there is no translation in Venezuela for sightseeing. What do you say for Spanish? What is
Como,
it?
como viendo, no
But what
sé,
is
como
it?
capturar un momento, no sé.
Turistear, que ese, yo no sé, no hay, there is no translation for sightseeing. Sightseeing is that activity that tourists do. Sightseeing is visiting different places and taking photos. That is sightseeing, okay? Now, can you read this? Can you read this, please? Instruction here.
Yes, part word. What can you do when you travel to a historic site? Put the
To a
words
historic
to a
site.
history.
Historic site. What can you do when you travel to a historic site? Okay, yeah, continue.
And put the words in the chart. Can you add two more words?
Okay, observe. Here you have a chart. You are going to put these words here, okay? If there are things to see, you select something that you can see. For example, ancient ruins, you know what they are, right? You place them here. But if there are things to do, activities that you can do, you're going to place them here. Tell me something additional that you can see, which is included in this violet or purple square or box. Things to see, tell me.
Things to see. Temples.
Temples. Okay, so you write temples here. Tell me another additional thing that you can see.
And what is hot springs?
What is hot springs? Hot springs would be like I mean, uh, let me check it out. Let me check it out. Hot springs, but it would be kind of, let's see. Let's check it out here. Let's check it out here. Oh, no, it's not included. Let me check it out. What would it be, hot springs? Can you can you tell me what it is? Do you have Google
I
Translate that here?
I
There?
I just can see the book.
You just cannot see the Google Translate or Google, huh? So
No, I
let me,
can
you cannot
see.
see it. Okay, let me check it out if I can. see it here because it's really okay. Oh my goodness, you have a problem with your cough. Your cough. Okay, let me check it out here. I don't know what I did. Oh, it's right here. Let's say hot spring, hot spring, hot spring.
Primavera calurosa.
I really don't know, but it doesn't make any sense because spring is the season of the year which begins in March and ends in June. April, May, June, you know? That's hot spring.
Yes.
But does it mean that way? I really don't know. Hot spring, it would be, yeah, I know. You know, water that comes from down the earth, like like a geyser. You know what a geyser is? A geyser?
No.
Geyser. When you see water that comes from the bottom, from a hole in the land and goes up, and that water is really hot. You see, it's a geyser, a geyser. Do you understand that what a geyser is? You can see thermal waters, thermal waters. If you go to, let me check it. There is a town next to Valencia, which is in the middle before getting to Puerto Cabello. There are two towns. What are their names? What are the names of two towns which are between Valencia and Puerto Cabello? Okay,
I don't go to
let
Puerto
me ask my
Cabello.
wife. ¿Dónde era que vivía tu abuela ya cuando estaban ustedes pequeños? Y al lado del Cambur, ¿qué quedaba? Pero no, había otra población. No, una población donde había aguas termales. No es posible. Y allá donde nosotros fuimos, okay, let me tell you, that is aguas termales, okay? Thermal waters. You understand what
¿Qué
I
son
mean?
aguas termales?
Aguas termales. Okay, water that comes from down the earth, and when it arrives to the land, to the surface of the land, it becomes really hot, okay? Sulfurous waters, that is hot spring, like in the geysers. You know what the geysers are? Boiling water, hot water. Let me show you a photograph,
Okay.
an image in Google Translate. Pay attention. Hot spring. Okay, observe an image of hot spring. That's the problem. Hot springs, hot spring spa. Okay, you know what a hot spring spa is? Let me show you some images of hot spring spa. Las trincheras que habían allí, no habían unas aguas calientes. Ok, mi esposa me acaba de aclarar. Y yo te estaba dando eso porque es lo más cercano a ti, Nicole, para definirte lo que son hot springs.
Ok.
Si vas a las trincheras, que queda escasos 20, 25 kilómetros de allí de tu casa, encontrarás que hay aguas termales. Eso se llama hot springs, que para los criterios del castellano también, bueno, hay otra palabra que es alemana, se llama Geysers, ¿ok? Geysers. ¿Y qué puedo decirte de las aguas termales?
I search in Google and I see it that is like hot water.
Hot water, it's okay, but they come from down the earth, from down the earth. There is another in San Juan de los Morros. In San Juan de los Morros, there are some hot springs. Hot springs are very hot waters. And there is another in Sucre State, Aguas de Moisés in Sucre State. Okay, in Sucre State, close to Carúpano. Carúpano is in Sucre State. You can find hot waters, okay, hot springs. That is hot springs. Traduciendo del castellano, aguas termales, más nada. Pero a veces sale como un chorro, una cascada, ¿eh? Una cascada. ¿Qué te puedo decir?
Okay.
Esa es la definición. That's the definition for a hot spring, okay? Now, let's continue with this. You see, let me show you the screen again so that you can see the definition here. What do you see here? You see?
I see. Yes, I see
Hot
the
spring spa is a place where you can immerse in water like this. And this water comes from under for down the land, okay? And sometimes there is a waterfall like this one, you see? Or sometimes you have a pool like this, and this is hot water. Generally, there is a very famous one, which is in California. It is, no, it's in California, no, in Colorado. And it's this faithful hot spring, faithful hot spring. I'm gonna show you the faithful hot spring. Let me write it here. Faithful, that hot spring. Faithful hot spring. This is particularly important. You know why? Because water flows from down the earth at a certain times. You spend 15 minutes or half an hour without going up, and you can wait 15 minutes and it will blow up again. It will explode. Do you understand what I mean? That is the faithful, all faithful spring. Let me show you a photograph here. You can see, can you see it here? What do you see in the
yes.
photograph?
I see a water going up.
Okay, that is the Old Faithful, which is in Colorado, I think. I don't know what it is. In Yellowstone Park, Wyoming, you see? Because Yellowstone Park is in Wyoming, it's the United States, okay? And here you are. This water is hot. This is called a hot spring, okay? Que no hallaba cómo decirte, aguas termales, nada más, hot spring, that's it. Now, let's continue. Let's stop sharing this and let me share again. Let me share again the book so that you can have it again here. Okay, it's sometimes difficult for me to be changing from one screen to another. Okay, but here we are. Okay, now observe. So, is a hot spring something that is, what is it? What is it? Is something to see or things to do? What is it? What do you say about something?
It
What do you say?
is something to see.
It's something to see. So hot spring is here, right? Hot spring is here. You said the temples are here, right? Tell me something additional. Do you see anything else here? You see?
No.
You don't know.
Oh
Shop,
no, that's things to do, but you
things to
can
do.
see shop.
Seems to
Yeah,
see, you can see local markets, you can see shops, so you can place them here, right? Right?
I don't know. No, you can think you can see temples and see hot springs,
Okay,
and you can do
things to
you
do,
can
look, shop. You can go shopping.
see things to shop at local markets, either restaurants, go
Okay.
hiking,
Okay, let me check it
join
out
a tour.
here. Let me check it out here. Let me check it out here. If it is
Yes.
possible, if I close this here, let me check it out. It's here. Things to see. Ancient ruins, hot springs, and temples. You are right. And things to do, eat at restaurants, go hiking, and join tour group and shop at local markets. So shop at local markets should be placed here, right?
Yes.
Okay, good. Now, let's continue. Let's rub it out. Let's rub it out. And let's continue with the next one. Which things in your chart do you see to do, do you like to do the most? Which things would you like to do the most?
I like to see series.
Okay, you like to,
See series. Oh, how would
from this here.
from this? I like eat at restaurants.
You like eating at a restaurant. You like to eat at restaurants, okay? Tell
Yes,
me another thing that you
and
like to do.
shop
Apart
at
from,
local
okay, shop at
markets.
local markets, okay? You can shop at local markets. So this is something that you like, okay? Now, guess
Yes.
the facts. Observe. You're going to watch a video and for 30 seconds, the video is going to be without any sound. I'm going to play it without sound. You're going to answer these questions, okay? Who are the people in the video? Who are the people in the video? You don't
Okay.
know because you're not gonna listen to their names, but you will know who they are. What do you think the video is going to show? What do you think the video is going to show? Okay, pay attention. I'm going to play it back to play it, and you pay attention. You're not gonna listen to anything because the volume is going to be off. Okay, volume off. But you're gonna read.
Okay.
You're gonna look. You're gonna watch it for 30 seconds, and please pay attention. You're gonna tell me who are they? Who are these people in the video? And you're going to answer, what do you think the video is going to show?
Okay.
Okay, so let me stop this here. Let me stop this here and tell me, who are they? Who are
There
they?
are
They
Paul
are
and Derek.
Derek and Paul. Paul and Derek, right?
Yes.
And what are they going
Yes.
to do? What are they going to do?
And they are going to Machu Picchu to Peru.
They are going to Peru. They are going to visit Machu Picchu, right? And that's what they are going to do. Okay. Now, you know
Yes.
that who is Derek and who is Paul? I don't know, but I think it is Derek. Is this Derek?
I don't remember. I just
And the other one is Paul. I don't know who is Paul, who is Derek, but you know. Okay.
yes.
Because their names appear over there. So now let's continue with the next page so that we are going to get the picture, get the picture. You're gonna watch you're gonna watch the video, okay? And pay attention to this. Can you
Okay.
please read the instructions in part A of the activity A? Can you read it?
Yes. These are the things that Derek and Paul did in Peru. Put the pictures in order, 1 to 5.
Okay, 1 through 5. I'm gonna play the video again so that you can place 1 through 5. 1 through 5. Here you have 5 different pictures, and you're going to mention what is number 1. Well, number 1 is here, right? This is the first thing that they did in Peru, okay? But you're gonna mention 2, 3, 4, or 5, okay? You understand this? Is it clear?
Yes.
Okay, now, can you read letter B?
Yes. B. Now write the correct sentence under each picture. Compare with a partner.
Okay, you're gonna write what this is, what this is, what is the correct sentence in this here or in this here. In the first one, you see, they hiked the mountain, they hiked the Inca Trail to Machu Picchu. They hiked, they hiked
Yes.
the Inca Trail to Machu Picchu. You
Too
see,
much.
the Inca Trail is
Yes.
like a caravan, you know, or something like that. It's a
Yes.
coach, you see. So they, and here you are, the 5 things. You're going to decide which
Yes.
one is number 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5. And after that, you're going to mention what they said here. What is the sentence that they said? Let's repeat the sentences, please. Repeat. Can you repeat the first sentence here?
Yes. They climbed Huayana Picchu for a different view.
The second one?
They saw the Incas riding lawn mover in the Jama. They ate, eat, ate,
8.
they ate fruits and vegetables from the local markets.
Okay, and this
They
one?
took the train back to Cusco,
Okay,
and
you already
the last
know
one,
is the first
yes,
one.
they hiked
Okay,
the
now
Inca Trail to Machu
it's
Picchu.
obvious that you know where they are placed. Tell me, where are they placed? For example, this one, they ate fruits and vegetables from local markets. Is it, what number is,
And
what is it the first picture, the second, the third, the fourth,
it's
or
the
the fifth?
first, I think
It's
that
the
it's the
first.
first pick,
Of course, if you are
but
talking
I
about
don't
fruit and
know.
vegetables, but you don't know if this
Yes,
was the second thing that they did,
yes,
or the third, or the
yes,
fourth. We don't know, but
yes,
this is related to this one, okay? They ate fruits and vegetables from local markets. Now, what it is said here, in this here, can you read it?
yes. And I think that is mm, they climb
They climbed,
Guayana Picchu for a different view.
they climbed it. Here is this one. Or what do you think it is this one?
That is, they took the train back to Cusco.
Okay, observe, because you see the railroad lines here, right? Railroad line here, right? Okay, and this
Yeah,
one?
they saw the Incas riding lawn mover the
Lawn
llama.
mower. Lawn mower.
Lawn
You know what
mower.
lawn mower
Lawn
are?
mower.
The llamas.
No.
The llamas are called the lawn mower because they eat the grass. You see, they are eating the grass. Lawn is the grass. A mower, they cut,
Okay.
cut the grass. Riding lawnmower. The riding lawnmower is this one, the llama, the animal. Okay, you see?
Yes.
Okay, now let's observe the video, and you're gonna tell me all of these pictures, what numbers are, right? Pay attention.
For as long as I can remember, my brother and I have been traveling together through good times, bad times.
You can.
Ah, you can't listen. I'm sorry. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. It always happens to me. It always happens to me. Pay attention to this.
Yes.
Okay, let me check it out. Share the sound now. Let me check it out again.
For as long as I can remember, my brother and I have been traveling together through good times, bad times, and even the very weird times. This is Derek, and I'm Paul, and on this trip, we're going to Peru to see the ancient Incan city of Machu Picchu. Derek and I started our Peru adventure in Cuzco. From there, we hiked the Inca Trail to Machu Picchu. Finally arriving just before dinner, we got our first glimpse of the ancient site. Well, here it is, Machu Picchu. After a grueling trek and donating a pair of sunglasses to the Inca gods somewhere along the trail, we finally made it. Now, to see it this empty right now is really rare. By mid-morning tomorrow, literally thousands of people. We're gonna hike back up in the morning, see if we can get the sunrise and see what Machu Picchu is like first thing in the morning. The closest access point to Machu Picchu is a town called Aguas Calientes, which is 6 kilometers away from the ancient city. Here, travel-weary tourists are offered all the amenities of home: hotels, hostels, restaurants, and even internet cafes. However, it should be noted that large tour groups will often come into town and rent out entire hotels. So we suggest either booking a room a few weeks ahead or arriving in town on the earliest train to make sure you have a place to stay the night. Although Aguas Calientes is a relatively new town, ancient techniques are still used by local craftsmen in the town's ongoing construction. There's also a great open market in town where local fruits and vegetables are available to ensure you won't run out of energy exploring Machu Picchu. Rising early the next morning, Derek and I made our way back up the trail to the ancient city. These ruins are visited by approximately 2,500 people every day. We wanted to get there early and see as much as we could before the hordes of visitors arrived. There are basically 2 ways to get to Machu Picchu from Aguas Calientes. You can take one of the mini buses that leave from the center of town, or you can take a steep, winding trail all the way to the top. Machu Picchu, which means Old Peak, was constructed around 1450. However, as the empire collapsed under the Spanish, it was abandoned roughly 100 years later. Machu Picchu was forgotten by the outside world. In 1911, the site was rediscovered by explorer and historian Hiram Bingham with the help of some local residents. He started the huge job of clearing away hundreds of years of forest growth from the city. When Hiram Bingham came across this site, the overgrowth was unimaginable. Trees, rocks, shrubs cover the entire area. But luckily for them, it looks like the Inca invented the riding lawnmower. The construction of Machu Picchu is still a mystery. Human remains were found on the bottom of the mountain, but nobody knows how many people died building the city. And nobody knows if some kind of rope was used to climb up and down. But we do know that the Inca were master builders. Machu Picchu is comprised of approximately 200 buildings. Most of them are built out of blocks of stone. The blocks were cut with bronze or stone tools, and they were smoothed with sand. The blocks fit together perfectly without mortar. Even a knife blade can't be forced between the stones. There are many theories about Machu Picchu's actual purpose. Some say it was a defensive retreat for the Inca elite. Others believe that it was the estate of an Inca emperor. Either way, it is obvious that the Inca valued their environment. Nature's image is carved into the surroundings throughout the city. Towering 1,200 feet above Machu Picchu lies Huayna Picchu, which means young peak in Quechua, the native Inca language. Derek and I decided to climb Huayna Picchu for a different view of the ancient city. If you decide to make this trek, you won't be disappointed. The peak is dotted with temples and terraces that look down on Machu Picchu. With heavy hearts, we finally left Machu Picchu and took the train back to Cusco. As our trip came to an end, Derek and I agreed that Peru is an amazing country, and we are sure to be back soon.
Okay, you're gonna tell me what is second? What is the second picture?
The second, I think that is the fruits and vegetables.
This one would be the second one. Yeah, the second. They
Yeah.
ate fruit and vegetables from local markets. Okay. Now, what is the
Yes.
third one? What is the third? What is number 3?
Number 3 is they climb Ujana Picchu from different view.
They climbed. It would be like this one. This one.
Yes.
Number 3.
Yeah.
This is number 4, according to
Oh.
this. So which one is number 3?
Number 3 is the llamas.
The llamas.
They
So number 3
saw.
is the llamas. They saw the Incas llamas. The llamas. They're riding.
Yeah.
They're riding
They
lawnmower. The,
long.
the
Yeah.
eaters of grass. Okay, these are the llamas.
Yes.
And number 4 is this one,
Number
right?
4 is yes, this one.
They say they climbed Huayna Picchu for a different view, right? To have a different view. And what
Yes.
about the last one? What is the last one?
The last one is they took the train back to Cusco.
They took the train back to Cusco. So this is the last one. Okay. So let me continue with this. Okay. What do you see here? What's your opinion? What's your opinion about this? Can you read the instruction in letter A, number 5? Letter A. Can you read
Yes.
it?
What do you think of Derek and Paul's trip?
What do you think of?
Mhm. Rate each part of the trip for 1, very interesting, to 5, not interesting. Circle the numbers.
Okay, so you say from 1 through 5, you're going to mention 1 through 5. 1 if it's the least interesting, and 5, I'm sorry, 1 very, very interesting, and this is the least interesting, not interesting at all. Okay, what do you think it is the most, in your opinion? There is no comment, but what is more in exploring Machu Picchu? What would you say? Very, very interesting or not so good?
It's the number 2.
Number 2, it was interesting for you. Okay. What about the other? Because the opinion could be different according to the people who asks. Okay. In this case, if you're talking about, let's say, you say that it's number 2, but probably Braulio would
Yeah.
say number 1 for this exploring Machu Picchu would be excellent, right? Now, what do you say
Probably.
for number 2?
I think that is
Okay, read this. Read it, please. Read it.
visiting the town of Aguascalientes.
What do you think?
3.
3, visiting the town of Aguascalientes for you would be so-so, not very interesting, but not the least interesting. Okay. Now, tell
Yes.
me, what do you say and change your opinion about number 3? Can you read it, please? Read it.
Yes. Seeing the open market with fruits and vegetables.
Vegetables. Can you
3.
repeat that? Vegetables. Vegetables.
Vegetables.
Okay.
Vegetables.
Tell me, what do you say? 1,
3.
4, or 5? You see, you say it's 3,
3.
but you have already
Yeah.
used 3. Can you mention, or if you decide that visiting town of Aguascalientes is not so important,
No.
you say, which one?
And
3 for both?
so
3 for both?
maybe
Can you
yes.
change your opinion between visiting the town of Aguascalientes and seeing the open market of fruit? What do you prefer? What do you prefer? What is your preference?
prefer visiting town of Aguascalientes.
Okay, so you prefer visiting the town of Aguascalientes. Let's go to number 4, this, to give a clear difference between one and the other. In this case, I would say that your opinion would be number 4 for buying fruit at the market, buying vegetables and fruit. But if you decide, you can exchange this. Okay, can you read number 4, please?
Yes, learning about the history of Machu Picchu.
Do you consider it is very, very important or the least important for you?
I think that is the second one.
It's the second. You mean you see it number 2, but there is a difference
Yeah.
here. Okay, so exploring Machu Picchu, it's just the same criteria. So it's very important. It's really important. What do you say about
Yes.
climbing Huayna Picchu? Is it
Huayna
least or
Picchu.
the most important?
Climbing is like hike,
Hiking,
or
going
this
up,
is calling.
going up.
Okay.
What do you say?
Oh, this is number one. For
Number
me, it's
one.
very interesting.
For you, it's
Yeah.
really interesting. It's the most interesting to climb up there so you can see everything around the mountain, you know? So this is the
Yes.
most important, it's the most fantastic thing or the most interesting thing, the very, very interesting
Yes.
for you. Okay?
Probably with exploring Machu Picchu. Probably.
Probably exploring Machu Picchu would be as interesting as or similar in importance exploring Machu Picchu, number one, and
Yes.
climbing Huayna Picchu. Huh? You could
Yes.
say that this here and this here are the two most important or the most interesting things that you can do going to Machu Picchu. Okay, so let me
Yes.
delete all the notes here. Let me delete all the notes here and let's continue with the pair work. Complete your opinions. Okay, you compare your opinions with Braulio. Braulio is not here. So you cannot compare it. Well, my opinion is similar to yours, but I would say that going to the market, the fruit, to find some fruit and vegetables would be as good as, or probably I would say a number two. Now, number three, all right? Or no. Everything is important here. Probably the least important thing for me would be learning about history. No, not important for me. Learning about
Mm.
history. I would say, no, number five, it's not important. Important thing is watching the view, looking around, exploring the areas. But for me, it is not so important to know so much about history. So history about Machu Picchu is number five for me. Well,
Mm.
even though I know, do you remember the date, the year when Machu Picchu was constructed? Do you remember?
No.
It was built
Oh, probably
500 years ago. What is the date? Approximately.
in 2021.
What do you say?
Oh,
What
the
is the
date
date
today.
that no, the year. Tell me, what is the year when Machu Picchu was built? When Machu Picchu was
Five
founded?
years ago?
50 years ago.
No.
What was the year? The year. Tell me about the year.
Mm,
It was told when you listen to this. I don't remember clearly, but it was in 1450. I guess it was 1450. I mean, 42 years before Christopher Columbus arrived in America. You understand what I mean?
yes.
Okay, so I would say, I guess, what I suppose, I guess, according to what I heard, because Paul and Derek were having a narration of what they saw. They say, I guess they said Machu Picchu was founded, when I say founded, in 1450. 1450. I mean, 42 years before Christopher Columbus. You know who Christopher Columbus was?
Yes.
Okay, Columbus Columbus. I'm not sure if it is written this way, but I guess it is that way. Discovered America or came to America. If you want to say not discovered because America existed. Okay, well,
Yes.
came to America, came here, came to America, right? 42 years before Christopher Columbus discovered America or came here. And we are going to check this information later because the information is in the, oh my goodness, you don't feel well. You're coughing. Oh God. No, ponte bien. No, no quiero que te pongas mal. No, 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 no. Por favor, por el amor de Dios, mejórate. Tómate un jarabito, no sé, por ahí llaman que, ay Dios mío, ¿cómo es que se llama? Empieza con Brondecon o algo así. Ay, en la farmacia. Ay, que ese para la tos así termina de salir ese resfriado. Tú lo que tienes es un resfriado. ¿Tú te mojaste? En
No,
una llovinita, ¿no te cayó una llovinita? ¿No?
no.
Ok, bueno. Total, ese es producto de la humedad, el cambio de clima. Ok, what do you think Machu Picchu, what do you think compare, okay, there is a comparison between your opinion and other people's opinion, okay? What do you think of exploring Machu Picchu? It looked fun, huh? I gave it a 1 about this. 1, exploring Machu Picchu, 1. I give you a 1, exploring Machu Picchu. And a 1 to climbing Huna Picchu, 2. And I give you a 2 seeing the open market with fruits and vegetables. What do you think about exploring Machu Picchu? Give me your opinions. Give me your opinions.
I think that exploring Machu Picchu is good, but I have another destinations that I think that it's going to be more fun or more
Okay,
interesting.
we're going to be some other. When you say some other destinations, you're talking about plural. So you say some other destinations were interesting, were really interesting for me. You understand? I have some
Okay,
others. For example,
okay,
visiting Cusco, okay, right? Instead of only Machu Picchu, okay? But you are supposed that they have already visited Cusco. Cusco is the town which is next to Machu Picchu, okay? Or going to Lima,
okay,
the capital city in Peru. It would be a good opinion for me. I would say that not to spend so much time. That's a different opinion, okay? Some people would say, no, going
yes,
to Machu Picchu, I don't like it. I wouldn't go to Machu Picchu. I would prefer to go to Lima, Peru. Okay, Lima, the capital city. It's your opinion. Or if you have another destination, well, you can tell your classmates. Okay, but here you have you are alone, so you don't have any other whom to share with because this is a pair work. Okay, let's go to the next page. Okay, and observe. Watch for details. Okay, now, we are going to watch the video again. Those 4 minutes or 5 minutes, I don't know, that video are going to be seen by us. And you're going to watch for details. Pay attention to this. Write one thing that you learned about the people, places, or things, okay? I have already told you about Machu Picchu, okay? So I would
yes.
say that I'm going to write here that Machu Picchu was founded in the year 1450. Okay, you write it down.
Okay,
But if you listen something additional about Machu Picchu, you catch it in your brain and you write it down. Okay. If you listen to something about
okay,
the Inca, okay, you're gonna write something about the Inca. The Inca, the population, the Inca is the Aborigine, the original population that were in Peru long time ago before Christopher Columbus arrived in there. Or if you say about Aguascalientes, which is a town next to Cusco, okay, where you can take the train to go up Machu Picchu, okay, there was something about Aguascalientes that was mentioned here. You grasp the idea and you write it down rapidly. You take a paper and you write it down rapidly, okay? I'm talking
Yes.
about Huayna Picchu, okay? Everything was said by Paul or Derek about Huayna Picchu, okay? Or about Paul and Derek. I would say, what would you say about Paul and Derek without looking at
I
the picture?
say that they are active tourists that they love um go they love the tourists and see the world.
Okay, let me tell you that they are brothers, okay? That's another thing you can write here. They're brothers and they always travel together since they were young people, since they were children, okay?
Yes.
They have gone everywhere together. That's the idea. He said, since I have a memory in my head, since I know,
Yeah.
he mentioned something like that. I have always traveled with my brother, Derek, okay? Derek and Paul have are always traveled together. But you're gonna listen to the information and you're gonna take notes. Take notes on a piece of paper rapidly, okay? A fast note,
Okay.
because it is difficult at the beginning. Pay attention, listen to it. I'm going to put it completely on the screen, okay? So that you can see it all.
For as long as I can remember, my brother and I have been traveling together, through good times, bad times, and even the very weird times. This is Derek, and I'm Paul, and on this trip we're going to Peru to see the ancient Incan city of Machu Picchu. Derek and I started our Peru adventure in Cuzco. From there, we hiked the Inca Trail to Machu Picchu. Finally arriving just before dinner, we got our first glimpse of the ancient site. Well, here it is, Machu Picchu. After a grueling trek and donating a pair of sunglasses to the Inca gods somewhere along the trail, we finally made it. Now, to see it this empty right now is really rare. By mid-morning tomorrow, it'll be covered with literally thousands of people. We're gonna hike back up in the morning, see if we can get the sunrise and see what Machu Picchu is like first thing in the morning. The closest access point to Machu Picchu is a town called Aguas Calientes, which is 6 kilometers away from the ancient city. Here, travel-weary tourists are offered all the amenities of home: hotels, hostels, restaurants, and even internet cafes. However, it should be noted that large tour groups will often come into town and rent out entire hotels. So we suggest either booking a room a few weeks ahead or arriving in town on the earliest train to make sure you have a place to stay the night. Although Aguas Calientes is a relatively new town, ancient techniques are still used by local craftsmen in the town's ongoing construction. There's also a great open market in town where local fruits and vegetables are available to ensure you won't run out of energy exploring Machu Picchu. Rising early the next morning, Derek and I made our way back up the trail to the ancient city. These ruins are visited by approximately 2,500 people every day. We wanted to get there early and see as much as we could before the hordes of visitors arrived. There are basically 2 ways to get to Machu Picchu from Aguas Calientes. You can take one of the mini buses that leave from the center of town, or you can take a steep, winding trail all the way to the top. Machu Picchu, which means Old Peak, was constructed around 1450. However, as the empire collapsed under the Spanish, it was abandoned roughly 100 years later. Machu Picchu was forgotten by the outside world. In 1911, the site was rediscovered by explorer and historian Hiram Bingham, With the help of some local residents, he started the huge job of clearing away hundreds of years of forest growth from the city. When Hiram Bingham came across this site, the overgrowth was unimaginable. Trees, rocks, shrubs cover the entire area. But luckily for them, it looks like the Inca invented the riding lawnmower. The construction of Machu Picchu is still a mystery. Remains were found on the bottom of the mountain, but nobody knows how many people died building the city. And nobody knows if some kind of rope was used to climb up and down. But we do know that the Inca were master builders. Machu Picchu is comprised of approximately 200 buildings. Most of them are built out of blocks of stone. The blocks were cut with bronze or stone tools, and they were smoothed with sand. The blocks fit together perfectly without mortar. Even a knife blade can't be forced between the stones. There are many theories about Machu Picchu's actual purpose. Some say it was a defensive retreat for the Inca elite. Others believe that it was the estate of an Inca emperor. Either way, it is obvious that the Inca valued their environment. Nature's image is carved into the surroundings throughout the city. Towering 1,200 feet above Machu Picchu lies Huayna Picchu, which means young peak in Quechua, the native Inca language. Derek and I decided to climb Huayna Picchu for a different view of the ancient city. If you decide to make this trek, you won't be disappointed. The peak is dotted with temples and terraces that look down on Machu Picchu. With heavy hearts, we finally left Machu Picchu and took the train back to Cusco. As our trip came to an end, Derek and I agreed that Peru is an amazing country, and we are sure to be back soon.
Okay, let me close this. Okay, now you're gonna tell me what did you write about Machu Picchu? What were your notes?
The Machu Picchu is open to the 6:30 a.m. to 5 p.m. and the entrance to go in is $20. And the Machu Picchu is visited by 500 and
2,500, you know? It's
no,
like saying 2,500 people.
no, it's 500,000 people.
500,000. I heard 2,500. 2,500 is
No.
like saying 2,500. I said to
No.
myself, this is not possible, but that's what I heard. And we are going to check it out probably later because we are not sure if it is 2,250 people or 2,500 people that visit Machu Picchu. I really don't know. Every day, this is ridiculous. I think it is not correct. But early in the morning when they got to Machu Picchu, what was weird? What was strange for them?
For what?
When they arrived to Machu Picchu, it was strange because they arrived very early in the morning and there was nobody up there because the tourists start visiting the city at what time? At 6 o'clock in the morning?
Yes.
But they arrived really early in the morning. So when they arrived, remember that they were hiking. They got there hiking. They didn't take the train or they didn't take the bus. They went hiking. That's what I heard. What do you hear about the Inca? What do you hear about the Inca? You know, the Incas, what do you hear?
That the Inca is the population that is before in Machu Picchu?
The people who lived originally in Machu Picchu, but I heard that they were, okay, can you please tell me, did you listen to something additional about the Incas?
No,
No?
I don't
Okay, let me
remember.
tell you that I heard that they were master builders. Master builders. You know what a master builder is? Like
And
engineers, right? Master
oh,
builders. The Incas were
okay.
considered master builders. And did you listen to something additional about the people who constructed, people who built those? I mean, that area. Didn't you listen to that?
No.
No. Many people died. Many people died while the construction was done, and they don't know if it was the emperor of the Incas, you know, or the emperor of the Spaniards, right? But many people died there, right? That's what I
Yes.
heard. And what did you listen about Aguascalientes? What is Aguascalientes? And what can you see there?
Aguascalientes have a lot of hotel, restaurants, cafes, and
Hostels, restaurants.
Aguascalientes is a new town.
Uh-huh.
Um,
And that's the
they
place
have
where, can you complete the phrase? Where is the place where you can take, what can you take there?
the bus
The buses to go
for
up,
Machu.
to go up the mountain. Remember that. Okay, you can take an Aguascalientes. What else can you find in Aguascalientes?
And you have with markets in the
Fruit and
market.
vegetable, fruit and vegetable markets, right? Over
Yes.
there. Right. And what about Huayna Picchu? What is the meaning? What is the meaning of Huayna Picchu? Did you listen to that? It was written in red letters. It was written in red letters. What is the meaning in English for Huayna Picchu?
Mm,
What
Huayna
is the
Picchu is the highest peak.
peak? Is the young peak. Young, you know, not old, but young peak. That is the translation. Peak is this, Pichu. Huayna is young peak. Okay, the translation to English is young peak. That's young Pichu. Yona Pichu. Yona Pichu is, that's the translation.
Yes.
And what can you mention about Paul and Derek?
That like you say, they are brothers, they'll travel together, they love travel,
They
they
love
have a
traveling. They love
website.
traveling. Okay, they have a good time. Okay, the beginning of the history, he says, for as long as I can remember, for as long as I can remember, my brother and I have always traveled together. That's something that he says at the beginning of a story. You know, at the beginning of a story, he says, my brother and I, huh, for as long as
Uh-huh.
I know, as soon as I have in my memory, huh, for as long as I can remember, my brother has always traveled with me. Well, these are several sentences that you listen to some sentences, I listen to some additional sentences, and that's the idea, that you get the idea of what they talk about. A day at
Yes.
Machu Picchu. Let me see if I have 8 minutes. We can watch the video again, and you can use your knowledge of Machu Picchu to plan 3-day things to do or choose from suggestions in the tourist brochure below. Here you have a tourist brochure. Well, you're not gonna do it here because it is necessary to write. It's necessary to write, to make a plan of what about what you are going to do, okay? first? What are you going to do
Yeah.
then? Okay, so it would be a good idea if you make your plan. But how about the next page, that where you have the details? What did they say? This is probably the most difficult part, right? And it is
Yes.
when they talk about old peak is Machu Picchu, okay? Picchu is peak. Old is Machu, Machu old, okay? Which
Okay.
means Machu Picchu Old Peak was constructed around, you see, here you are, 1450.
Yes.
It was constructed, it was built in 1450. I mean, 42 years before Christopher Columbus arrived in America, right? And you are
Yes.
going to complete the information here. As the empire collapsed, huh? I don't know what is missing here, but you understand the Spanish,
As in part,
abandoned. Do you understand what it means? What it should complete it here?
um, Machu Picchu means
It's the
something
verb
was
to be,
constructed
the verb
around.
to be. Okay, Machu Picchu was, say, okay, what do you say? Was constructed around 40, around the year 4050. Okay, 1450. What do you say here?
Um, well, I don't know.
Well, as the empire collapsed, what do you say here?
As in part class, one, maybe 150, 100. No,
50,
150,000, maybe.
15,000, I mean, 1500s, you say? 1500s, the Spanish? What do you
No,
say
I don't
here?
know.
The verb to be. What is it?
It was
It was abandoned roughly 100 years. What do you think it's here?
ago,
Later, later,
later.
later. I would say it's later. I'm not sure, but you have to think and try to find the word. Machu Picchu, what do you say here?
Machu Picchu has, I don't
I
know,
really
has
don't
a,
know. I cannot catch it. But listen, when you listen to 1911, in 1911, the site, observe 3 words, 1, 2, 3 words, explorer, and historian Hiram Bingham. The
I don't
site,
know.
I would say, was discovered by explorer and historian. I think it is was discovered by, but you're gonna check it out, okay? And then
Um, in, I don't know, and restaurant he pregnant
okay,
in
now
the, I don't
you're gonna
know.
check it, okay? Because it is really difficult to find out what the words were. Check it out. I'm going to play the video again for 4 minutes. If you can do it, if you cannot do it, we go for next week on Tuesday. We're going to discover. I'm going to send you the video, okay, of this unit and for the next unit, for unit number 11 and for the unit number 12, okay? Now, but let's play it from this place where you see the description about Machu Picchu when it was constructed, when it was built, okay? Pay attention to this, okay? I'm not gonna clear it, okay? Pay attention.
For as long
Okay.
as I can remember.
Okay, let me place it from the beginning here. I think it is
Tomorrow, it'll be covered with literally thousands of people. Hostels, restaurants, and to stay the night.
I don't know if it is over
Winding
here.
trail,
You
No.
can put the video like,
stone tools, and they were
Huh? completely from the
No,
beginning?
no, no. No, no. If you can put the video like in a side so that I can see
Okay, the
the
problem is
yes,
that, okay, the transcription of the video here, if I place the video this side, right? If it is possible, yeah? Is it
yes,
okay here? Would it
yes,
be okay? Well, let me check it out. If I don't know. Are you able to read this here?
yes.
Can you read it here or too small letters? Too small letters.
No, I can read it.
Okay, now let me check it
Moved
out.
with sand. The blocks fit together perfectly without mortar. Forced between. There are many theories about Machu Picchu's actual purpose. Some say it was a defensive retreat for the Inca elite who valued their environment. Nature's image is carved into the surroundings, which means young peak in Quechua, the native
This is-
Inca language.
No, but I don't
Derek
know.
and I decided to climb
No,
Machu
it's at the
Picchu.
beginning. Where is it? Is it at the beginning or by the end? I don't know if it is here where he gets a narration of a story, the history, but I'm not sure. If it is here,
Covered with literally thousands of people. We're gonna hike back up in the morning, see if we can get the sunrise and see what Machu Picchu is like first thing in the morning. The closest access point to Machu Picchu is a town called Aguas Calientes, which is 6 kilometers away from the ancient city. Hostels, restaurants will often come or arrive by local craftsmen. Rising early, these ruins are visited by approximately 2,500 people every day. We wanted to
2,500 people every day. Did you listen to that? Tell me what is the amount of people, according to what you heard in Spanish, 2,500 people. How many people visit Machu Picchu every day? Do you know? Can you listen to me? Can you listen to me? Oh my goodness. I think you cannot listen to me. Your internet is failing. God, it's not possible. Can you hear me? Hello? Nicole? Nicole? Hello? Yeah. Uh, Well, sorry, but I'll have to continue this for next week. Let me close it. Braulio, who is listening to me, this is the end of the recording. Internet failed at the end.